Hello everyone. In this session, we'll talk about GATE 2018 electrical machines solution. First of all, let's see the weightage. So in GATE 2018, we have three 1 mark questions and four 2 marks questions. So in total, we have 11 marks. So let's start with the first question. So the first question is a 1 mark question, which is from a transformers. So what does the question says, guys? A single phase 100 kVA 1000 volt by 100 volt 50 H transformer has a voltage drop of 5% across its series impedance at full load. Of this, 3% is due to resistance. They're asking us to find out the percentage regulation of the transformer at full load with 0.8 power factor lagging. So, what they have given us? So, let's see the solution. So, they have given us percentage impedance equal to 5% and the percentage resistance equal to 3%. We know that the percentage reactance X can be given as square root of percentage impedance square minus percentage resistance square, guys. So if you do this, we'll be getting around root over 5 square minus 3 square. It will be root 16, that is equal to 4. Given that the power factor is 0.8 lagging, we know that the formula for regulation is equal to percentage resistance cos phi plus or minus percentage reactance sin phi. So cos phi here is 0.8 and we know the value of the percentage resistance and percentage reactance, and since the power factor is a lagging power factor, we have to take positive sign. So here we'll be getting around 3 into 0.8 plus 4 into 0.6, so that is equal to 4.8 percentage. So the option A is the correct answer. Okay guys, let's go to the next question. The question 2 is a 2 marks question and it is also from transformers. So what does the question says? A three-phase 900 kVA 3 kilowatt by root 3 kV delta star transformer has a primary resistance of 0.3 ohms per phase and secondary resistance of 0.02 ohms per phase. They have given us the iron losses as 10 kilowatt and they are asking us to find out the full load efficiency at unity power factor. So let's see the solution. So the kVA rating is 900 kVA. So they have given us the core losses as or the iron loss P iron equal to 10 kilowatt. So the primary side is a delta and the secondary side is a star. So the line voltage on the primary can be given by 3 kV, whereas the line voltage on the secondary can be given as root 3 kV. So the line current on the primary side can be given as IL1 equal to kVA rating by root 3 times VL1. Why? Because it is a delta connection. So if you do that, you'll be getting 900 into 10 cube by root 3 into 3 into 10 cube. So this gives us 173.2 amps. Yeah. Similarly, the line current on the secondary side can be given as VA by root 3 VL2. So this gives us 900 into 10 cube by root 3 into root 3 into 10 cube. So that is 300 amps. Now the phase current on the primary side I phase 1 is given by IL1 by root 3. So that is equal to 100 amps. Similarly, on the star side, for a star, we know that phase current equal to line current. So that is equal to 300 amps. Now the copper loss, say WCU, can be given as 3 times, since it is a 3-phase transformer, primary phase current square into R1 plus 3 times secondary phase current square into R2. So if we substitute the values of I phase 1, I phase 2, R1 and R2, we'll be getting around 14.4 kilowatts. Now the transformer efficiency eta can be given as X kVA into power factor by X kVA power factor plus constant losses plus X square times variable losses. So actually they're asking us at full load. So X will be 1 and the power factor is unity. So X and power factor are 1 and kVA is 900, and for per constant losses we can substitute iron losses of 10 kilowatt and the variable losses will be 14.4 kilowatt. So if you substitute all these values, we'll be getting around 0.9736, that is around 97.36 percentage. Okay, let's go to our next question. So the next question is a 2 marks question and it is also from transformers. So what does the question says? So a transformer with a toroidal core of permeability mu is shown in the figure. So assuming uniform flux density across the circular core, the cross section radius r small r is less than or equal to capital R, and neglecting any leakage flux, they are asking us to find out the best estimate for the mean radius capital R. So guys, so let's see the solution. Say let's phi m be the maximum flux flowing through the core, and we know that V is equal to N d phi by dt, right guys? So phi is proportional to current, so phi is a function of sine omega t. So if you substitute and solve, and they want the maximum flux, right? So you have to take omega t as, so it will be cos, so you have to substitute the value of omega t such that the flux is maximum. So if you solve this, we'll be getting np, that is a primary winding, this one phi m is a max flux into omega. So the other way of getting the maximum flux is mmf by reluctance. This is the other formula. So the mmf can be given as np into current I by the reluctance. Reluctance is generally given by L by mu A. A is a cross section area, L is the length. So if you, L will be 2 pi r and the area will be pi r square. So npi by 2 pi r capital R by mu into pi r square. So this gives us npi mu r square by 2r. So similarly from this we can write phi m equal to V by np omega, that is equal to np I mu r square by 2r. So from these two expressions we can get capital R equal to np square I mu r square omega by 2. So that is option D. So let's go to our next question. The question 4, it's a 1 mark question and it is from DC machines. So what does the question says? A separately excited DC motor has an armature resistance of 0.05 ohms. The field excitation is kept constant at an armature voltage of 100 volts. The motor produces a torque of 500 Newton meter at zero speed. So neglecting all mechanical losses, they are asking us to find out the no load speed of the motor at armature voltage of 150 volts. So let's see the solution, guys. So they have given zero speed, which means omega equal to zero. So we know that the induced EMF or the back EMF can be given as K5 omega. Since the speed is zero, EB is zero, and the armature current is given by zero. Zero means say first case or the no load case. We can write it as terminal voltage minus Vt minus EB by armature resistance, right? So it will be 100 minus 0 by 0.5. So it is 2000 amps. Now they also given us torque equal to 500 Newton meter. We know that the expression for torque is K5 Ia. So from this expression we can write K5 equal to 1 by 4, right? 500 by 2000, so it will give us 1 by 4. So they're asking us to find out the no load speed of the motor for an armature voltage of 150 volts, right? No load means, so the load is 0, right? If the load is 0, the torque is 0, and the armature current will also be 0, because considering we are not neglecting the losses, so the motor doesn't take any current. So if you consider losses, it will take some current at no load. Since we are neglecting the losses, the motor doesn't take any current. Motor doesn't take any current. Now the back EMF in this case can be given as Vt, because there is no armature resistance drop, so it is equal to 150 volts, guys. So we know that EB is equal to K5 omega, right? That is equal to 150. So from this we can write, if you substitute K5 equal to 1 by 4, omega will be 600 radians per second. Let's go to the next question. So the question 5, which is a 2 marks question, and it is also from DC machines. So what does the question says? A 200 volts DC series motor, when operating from a rated voltage, driving a certain load, draws 10 ampere current and runs at 1000 rpm. The total series resistance is 1 ohm. The magnetic circuit is assumed to be linear. So at the same supply voltage, if the load torque is increased by 44 percentage, they are asking us to find out the speed of the motor in rpm. See, let's say initial torque is T1. Since the torque is increased by 42%, T2 will be 1.44 times T1. And we know that in a DC series machine, torque is proportional to armature current square, right? So T1 by T2 equal to Ia1 by Ia2 whole square. So they have given us the initial armature current as 10 amps. So if you solve this expression, we'll be getting Ia2 equal to 12 amps. Now let's find the back EMF. For the first case, EB1 equal to 200 minus armature current 10 into armature resistance 1, will be getting 190 volts. Similarly, EB2 equal to 200 minus 12 is the armature current, armature resistance 1 ohm, so it gives us 188 volts. We know that E is proportional to 5 omega. So E is proportional to 5 is we know that 5 is proportional to current, right? Armature current, since it is a series machine. So we can write EB1 by EB2 equal to Ia1 by Ia2 into N1 by N2. So if we substitute all these values, so we know that N1 is 1000 rpm. So if we substitute all these values and if we solve for N2, we'll be getting around 824.5 rpm. I can say around 825 rpm, guys. Okay, guys, let's go to the next question. So which is a 1 mark question, and it is from a synchronous machines. So what does the question says? In a salient pole synchronous motor, the developed reluctance torque attains a maximum value when the load angle is, they're asking us to find out the load angle when the reluctance torque will attain the maximum value. So let's see the solution, guys. For a salient pole motor, the expression for reluctance torque is given by TR equal to terminal voltage square by 2 omega s synchronous speed into 1 by xt quadrature axis reactance minus direct axis reactance into sine 2 delta. So the reluctance torque is maximum. They're asking with respect to load angle, right? So we have to derive with respect to load angle dtr by d delta. And if we equate to 0, then we'll be getting around theta equal to 45 degrees, guys. So the answer is B. Okay, guys, let's go to our next question. The question 7, it is from induction machines and it is a 2 marks question. So what does the question says? The equivalent circuit of a single phase induction motor is shown in the figure, and they have given us the parameters as R1 and R2 dash equal to XL1. Those are the leakage reactances equal to 12 ohm, and the mutual or the magnetizing inductance is around 240 ohms. So now they are asking us to find out the no load lagging power factor of the motor. So at no load, okay, let's see this. So at no load, the slip is 0. So from the equivalent circuit, if you take R2 dash by 2s, it will become infinity. So this part will open circuit. Similarly, R2 dash by 2 into 2 minus s will become R2 dash by 4. And in this part, in this section, if you see, the xm by 2 value is very small when compared to this impedance. So generally we'll neglect. So you remove this, open circuit this part, so then this will also won't come into picture. So we have this 1, 2, 3 and this impedance 4. So the total no load impedance ZNL equal to R1 plus R2 dash by 4 plus J times X XL1 I can write plus half XM plus XL2 dash. So if you substitute the values and if you solve this, finally we'll be getting around 138.81 at angle 83.79 degrees. So now the load current can be given as I no load equal to voltage at angle 0 degrees by ZNL. So this will give us value of V by 138.81 at angle minus 83.79 degrees. So now the no load power factor is given by cos 83.79. So that is 0.108 lagging because sine is negative.